Welcome back to the 2024 second round NHL Stanley Cup playoffs preview, and let's get right into it with the West first matchup. We had the only upset by seed line in the first round, which was the Avs over the Jets after losing game one. The Avs played very well, winning 4 straight to beat the Jets in 5, and the Stars had a 7-game series after a similarly bad start to the Golden Knights. Lost both at home, but rallied back and won the series in 7. Very impressive there. I'm going to have the Avs winning this series. I think that if Rantanen, Gale McCarr, and Nathan MacKinnon can control the puck in the zone, I think that they can force some penalties on the Stars, and that is where they're going to thrive. I like the Avs to win game 1, steal home ice advantage away from the Stars, and then I like them to go from there. Reminder that Ball Arena is the most powerful home ice advantage in these NHL playoffs. I do think league-wide, home ice is a little more overrated, but for the Avs, it certainly reigns true. And the Stars have been decent on home ice, but this playoffs, they haven't really shown it in those first 2 games against Vegas. I think that they could get off on the wrong foot again, so I like the Avs in 6 or 7 there. They also have had more time to rest, and of course going to the altitude, that could pay dividends in games 3 and 4 for the Avs there. Then let's move to the bottom, where we've got the Oil against the Canucks, and I like the Oil to take this series. I like this one in 6. I think the Canucks can steal a couple games here. The Oil, obviously, heavy favorites in this one. And so I like the Oilers to get game 1. Maybe the Canucks can steal back game 2 at home. But if they lose both at home, I'm not sure that they have what it takes without Demko. It looks like at the earliest he could come back in game 4 and 5. But I really think that since the Canucks have been so tight-lipped about this whole thing that he could be out for much longer, and I think that that could spell trouble for the Canucks. But I just think without Demko, it's going to be a tough task against this electric Oilers team, and the Canucks definitely play a different style of hockey. We'll see which one reigns true, but the Oil have shown that they can win the low-scoring affairs as well against the Kings team that I thought was going to bog the series down more than they did. There was the one game that was 1-0, but besides that, Oil were able to control it. I like them to win this series. Then shifting over to the East, Hurricanes already down 1-0 to the Rangers, and the Canes just kind of got unlucky in that game 1. The power play discrepancy was huge. 2 for 2 were the Rangers, 0 of 5 were the Hurricanes. I don't like that to ever happen again in this series. The Rangers have also gotten lucky a lot during the regular season, just stealing these games away from opponents. I think their record's a little inflated, whereas the Hurricanes have been on the harsh end of some of that luck. I like the Hurricanes to bounce back in game 2 and win this series. I think the Hurricanes' home ice advantage is also one of the best remaining in the playoffs right now. So, you know, the Canes have had multiple personnel additions this year, and I like them to win this series. Now that they've lost game 1, I think it might have to be in 7, but I like them to take game 2 and go from there. And then also we had a shocking upset in game 1 here against Bruins against Panthers. I like the Panthers to win the series still, but now I'm going to shift my original prediction from 6 to 7 games. I think the Panthers will need that home ice for game 7. If Swayman continues to play like this, then it's going to be hard to stop the Bruins, but I think that in game 2 the Panthers can get him off of his grind, and I think that from there this series gets a little more shaken up towards the Panthers. I could see the Panthers ripping off 4 in a row, but with 2 of those games shifting to Boston, that would also be pretty hard to imagine. If my prediction holds true and the Panthers are able to gang up on Swayman in game 2, Olmark will probably come back in, so we'll see what happens from there. But I like this Panthers team better. You know, they've been the best team in my power ratings wise for a while now. Ended up actually finishing atop the standings in that division in the Atlantic at the end of the season, so they do get that home ice. I think that will reign huge here for the game 7, and I like Florida to advance. And then we'll do some detail on the next round in another video after these series are finalized. But for now, I like Florida to advance past the Hurricanes. That one will be probably a 7-game series. That's just an electric series, and that's what I personally want to see. I think that before seeing this game 1 for Boston, which was very impressive, Again, if Swayman continues to play this way, Boston could win the series outright, but I thought that Toronto would actually have a better style of play for playing against the Panthers, but I like the Panthers against the Canes in that matchup, and then I like the Oilers against the Habs if the Habs are able to take the upset. Then Florida against the Oilers, great series set up there. Can Canada break the curse? But I don't think they will. I think Florida, again, as I mentioned, is the best team in the NHL right now. Just so much scoring versatility. They can play any type of game. And Bobrovsky in net, I think he will bounce back from this game one and lead the Panthers to a Stanley Cup. So be sure to drop your predictions in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one.